Donc ça, elle est disponible à la tente principale, ainsi que la tente médicale principale pour vos matchs. Souvenez-vous de mettre un sachet de sel par litre d'eau. Ça vous permettra de retenir l'eau dans le corps plus facilement. Bon match à tous.
Let's go. Welcome to the World Championships of Beach Ultimate in Western France in Royan. What is sure to be the most exciting game of Frisbee ever in the history of humankind. We have Australia going up against New Zealand. I am Liam Grant, joined by Georgina Morrison.
Hello everyone, this should be a really thrilling game. Both of these teams have probably come across each other before, and so this could be an exciting matchup.
Roy Collins starts off with a high release flick that ends up in the ground. Not the start they wanted for the Reef Sharks. Perhaps too much Vegemite on his Vegemite sandwich this morning, Rory. Nice break pass to New Zealand. Throwing a frosty flick to the end zone. It's wrapping around and it's a great goal. Number 5.
Really
Tom
unfortunate
White.
start. Really
Yeah.
unfortunate start for the Aussies.
Tom White there getting big. The man looks like Mario after eating a mushroom. That man is massive.
New Zealand doing really well just to move this disc. Great vision from the wind here. It's quite blustery out here in France today. Beautiful weather though.
Yeah. And Australia caught on the hop there. Maybe still snoozing. I don't know what time it is in Australia and New Zealand right now. It must be about
7:20, 8:20 p.m.
7:20, 8:20 in the evening time. Perfect for your stream. I hope you're all watching. You can communicate with us using the hashtag AskSutas. That's hashtag AskSutas. And Elliot Trotter now at the disc. Looking upfield. He's looking for his reset. Gets the around swing to Brendan Ashcroft, who is on the Australian World Games team. One of the only members on this Australian Open team participating in the World Games, who we saw some great footage earlier on in the year of Australia versus Japan in their preparation for the World Games, and Australia looked fantastic, and I think they're going to do really well in that World Games event. And Ashcroft touches it in. Hits Trotter on the other, who's working tirelessly. He's Cron on the dump. Again up the line. Zach Chodos hits the inside. Looks like it's going to be a goal. Dishy pass for Trotter. It's a goal for Australia. They get on the scoreboard.
Much cleaner point that time around. I don't think that high release flick was intended for the sand. The sand being quite a frequent receiver for a lot of these discs in the wind. Just going back on that hashtag AskSutas, you can contact us through Twitter. My Twitter handle being @_GG17. That's GEEGEE. You can ask us any questions or just tell us how your day's going.
Yeah, during timeouts, we may get an opportunity to ask Sutas himself. And a great goal from the Aussies there. Levitating in the air, showing their ups. And what they would have wanted from their first point. And Australia have to get a break back now. I want to do a big shout out to Michael Kramer, who is unfortunately sick in hospital at the moment on the New Zealand team with a viral infection. Hopefully he'll be back on the beach soon. I understand he is a doctor looking after him, his missus. I see Tom White there with a lateral cut. Gets the New Zealand offense going. As the Aussies come out with a forced backhand and they launch it deep. There's going to be a lot of pressure here, and a great goal from New Zealand, using body position perfectly there. Takes that one down.
That was a glorious disc. And some fantastic boxing out as well. This New Zealand team has some height to it. Well, both teams really have quite a lot of height, but this New Zealand team in particular, number 5 Tom White being very, very tall. I think I remember him. He plays for Cambridge in the UK, I believe.
Great goal from Hodgson, who is actually Australian himself, so a big grudge match for him. I find this match comparable to Ireland versus GB. I know maybe more guys in the Aussie team, but my heart lies with the Kiwis. Sheep-loving grass folk like myself. New Zealand with the pull. Bit of wind in the stadium today, going from left to right and slightly towards the main camera. That pull just staying in. As you see, Australians with 3 men back. Looks like the backhand hook is on. Hits it short to Rory. Who gets Trotter in the middle. Nick Doucette. Across to Ashcroft, we'll be seeing a lot of him. It looks like a turn. Run out of space for Trotter. The famous Globetrotter himself, who spent some time with heads of state in Australia and played World Beach with him in 2011. This man is in acres of space. Gets the read. Oh, good position from the Australian defender. David McManus, who is part of a ground-picking team detecting gravitational waves. As you can see the disc gravitating towards him there. He's the Matthew McConaughey of Ultimate Frisbee, transcending time.
That's an interesting way of celebrating an Aussie goal. A very well-deserved and worked-up goal here. Dave McManus being one of the pivotal handlers of this team here. Lovely, lovely flick to the end zone. Can't complain.
Yeah, with the Reef Shack catch there. Got to play with Rory Connell. They slow it down a bit now, as Evans moves it to Kyle. And pings it to the end zone. A great goal. Blistering pace in the front of that end zone. And Australia are back on serve.
Almost effortless getting that break there. Australia completely shutting down New Zealand. And the New Zealand flick that came across the pitch is something that we've already seen today in the women's game this morning. This just drifting off a little bit too much, catching under the wind, causing some unfortunate turns, which we could see Australia just plucking that out.
Yeah, and all that pressure coming from a great pull. The Australians getting down there in time to shut down their first pass. The New Zealand stack was too far downfield. Not much the man could do, and ended up boosting one to the end zone, which wasn't a bad look, but just didn't come off. So great defense from the Australian team. And we now see what their D-line can do. Rory Connell pulling this time. Has a big outside in backhand pull, which we're likely to see. No Tom White on the New Zealand O-line this time. New Zealand pick it up. Panu centering it. A lot of action downfield, but no one quite free yet. Great cut. Daniel Aldridge keeps the disc alive. Deep options there for Josh. Instead hits Richard Fernando, who only signed up this team 2 weeks ago. On a great layout, Nick Panu, the anchor of this offense so far, who's just about getting the throws off each time. Again, fantastic. And a beautiful sugar-coated scuba across the field. One-handed catch. Brilliant score from New Zealand.
He's made a sandbed for himself there. He's absolutely covered. Works so hard for that disc there.
What a grab. Very difficult to catch it with your fingers up, thumb down with those scoobers. Let's see this one again. First we have the fantastic layout. Fakes the flick. Boosting up line. And here comes that sugar-coated scuba. Drop the zero, get with the hero. Great catch. And looks like it's going to be a brick pull from New Zealand team. So Aussie will get on the brick mark. This Australian team finishing 6th in Dubai. A good effort. Some returners to that team as well. Also bronze medalist in the open division in London. So we all know how good Australian Ultimate is right now. Trotter isolated in the middle of the field. Can't get free. Indicates the Cron to come in as active cutter. Being marked by a bigger man, Tom White. Oh, and threads the needle there to the second fastest man in Australian Ultimate, Brendan Ashcroft. Second only to Cron himself. Oh, and a great fingertip D, but it comes down anyway. What happened there? I'm confused, but happy at the same time.
I think everyone just wanted a game of Mac Line. Everyone wanted a piece of that disc. And Australia, quite rightly, got under it.
Greg Schrader comes out of the shadows from behind to take down that disc. Great game of Mac Line, as you said. Great fingertip D there. As we see some players in the grandstand rocking umbrellas. The Aussies used to the heat, but some Irish skin out there. So we're still on serve. Both teams managing one break. Rory again with a pull. We see Kyle O on the D-line for Australia. Fluent in French, so doing a lot of communication with the volunteers here, the staff. Well known for his fantastic French. Again, if you want to communicate with the commentary team, just use the hashtag AskSutas. And the disc is in. Fakes the big backhand. Gets nice easy under. Good pop pass. Nice flow here from New Zealand offense. Well drilled. Hits the up line. Oh, and that one just a little undercooked. This is New Zealand's first time ever having a beach team, both a men's and mixed beach team, and already have 2 wins to boot. Universe point win against Italy yesterday and beat Estonia by a larger margin, 11-7. But now Australia have the chance to break. Put up a feathery flick to Kylo, who's got that pace. Fudu Fafa left behind.
That just looked like it was about to go out the pitch. He's got some absolute pace on him. He managed to chase that down. unbelievably well.
Yeah, I think I got to watch Kyle Lowe, if I'm not mistaken, at London under-23s.
This Australian team really utilising some of their incredible throwing prowess. That was a fantastic read. He chased that down so well. Defender completely left in the dust.
Yeah, that outside in kind of fading over his head, so a difficult one to read. But well done by the Australian man. And now they get another break, so have a 2-point lead after starting the game on offense. New Zealand doing well so far, but clinical stuff from the Aussies, except for that first turn on their first throw. And we see the buttery biscuit go up. This one got a lot of carry goal in it. The man's in position. Oh, and a great D. Managed to come over the top. Think there might be a foul call. The Australian player jogging away. I like that style.
He jog away, it didn't happen.
That's it. Don't recognize the call. And we've seen this all day in the show field. If you're forcing backhand, it's the easier hook. People are just going to send it. Looks like he had position there. Gets the disc first cleanly. I don't know if he made contact with the hand there. Did well to avoid body contact with his chest. But it'd be hard to argue that he didn't initiate contact there. But looks like they're retracting it. Good spirit from Aidan Hurley.
Already some fantastic use of the hand signals here.
Aussies take to the races. This one a little too far, McManus. Not even Sandra Bullock from the movie Gravity could chase that one down. That one accelerating at 9.81 meters per second. Could not keep up with it.
As you can tell, Liam has done a lot of preparation ahead of this game. He's personally been very excited.
Yeah, very happy to talk about David McManus and the groundbreaking work he's doing. New Zealand really need this point. Have possession back again. Aidan Hurley finds space up the line. It looks like they're saying this one could be on the money. The Australian defender can't get there, and a great goal for New Zealand.
I think New Zealand are just trying to iron out some of their slightly rustier throws. Again, that backhand shot being the best choice in this wind. New Zealand just working it down. Beautiful vision on that throw. Nice low release into the wind to prevent it from soaring.
And that's Hodgson getting the goal. The Aussie man playing New Zealand team. I'd say that felt good. Australia often isolating Elliot Trotter and Brendan Ashcroft downfield with this O-line. Cron, another member of the Pelt team at Windmill last week, also played at the Irish Nationals last year with Pelt, picking himself up a gold medal. Often the loudest man in the field. Ashcroft. New Zealand come out of the zone and it's threaded through to Cron. Can find holes like someone would in Swiss cheese.
It's the wrong country, Liam.
They do have great cheese, though. I don't know if there's any holes in Camembert, but the outside in backhand across the field, curves over that zone. Brilliant zone offense from the Australians.
Yeah, that New Zealand zone had a few too many gaps. We've seen so many times some of these teams coming out to beach And they've got gaps in their zone. There's too much poaching, and they can just do this really quick give and go as the Australians here have displayed. Beautiful work. And then into this final tasty backhand around into the end zone for the Aussie score.
Yeah, textbook zone offense there from the Australians. Good work from Cron getting that little give go once he had the space. And Rory now with a big outside in backhand pull. That one needing a flight number. New Zealand now holding that yellow discraft disc. A lot of pressure on the mark, possibly contact. Oh, and the pressure does enough as we see a headstand from the New Zealand player. Kylo. This to take half. Big opportunity for the Aussies. As you see them working it out. And a great goal. Men at work. The Aussies doing fantastic. What a goal.
Unfortunate for New Zealand there with Australia taking half. And a stellar headstand from Aidan Hurley. For the New Zealand squad, he's now fairly sandy. And Australia again just showing their throwing prowess and aggression. There was some aggressive marking from the Aussies. Quite a bit of contact on the force that stopped that disc and made it straight into the sand.
And we'll now cut to a commercial break during this half. Back in a moment. We are back from half now. A great goal from Kylo for Australia to take half, 7-4. Again, New Zealand not playing particularly bad, but this Australian team coming out all guns blazing. Had a big win against Germany yesterday on Universe Point. A lot of upsets and strange results so far in this group. Ireland beating GB Universe and then falling to Belgium. Germany, who were 12-8 up against GB, ended up losing on Universe Point 13-8. So this group's still wide open. A lot of strong teams in this division. As New Zealand look to take some notches off this deficit. Daniel Aldridge. Back to Josh Broughton. The Kapow player looks to air it out. A lot of pressure on good defensive position. Albie Evans doing heaps on defense to get his body in the way and make that play.
Yeah, it's Josh from Kapow, team in the UK, based in London, trying to air out that disc for his receiver in the end zone. Quite unfortunate, but great defensive positioning from the Aussies.
Brendan Ashcroft with the disc now. A lot of debate on Twitter, who is the fastest man in this Aussie team? Many people saying Ashcroft, some saying Kyle O, but I'm still sticking with Cron. Blistering pace, the man. High release backhand to Schrader from Adelaide. Oh, magnificent grab. Quick to his feet and gets the disc moving again. Oh, and that inside backhand caught his teammate off guard. And New Zealand with a chance to get back in the scoreboard. Aldridge again to Josh, who tries it second time round. This one looks to be on the money. He's being called not in, and he dishes it straight away. Aussie players seem to have given up on that one.
That's an extra point to the board there for New Zealand now. Another backhand aired out. Sent it to the end zone. And it was received just outside and had to be popped in, but Australia weren't necessarily aware of that and couldn't really get the defense positioning that they maybe wanted to stop that goal. The disc has been swapped.
Good energy there from Aldridge to get that goal. Interesting that the Aussies continue to force backhand, which seems to be the favourite hook by New Zealand. Getting 2 goals. Interesting enough, it seems like they have switched disc here. So it looks like the New Zealand team now using a white disc instead of yellow. It looks like the last yellow disc was tacoed, and we might get a yellow disc back on the pitch next point for the ease of your eyes. Those that find it hard to tell the contrast between the white disc and the lovely, luscious white sand here in France. And disc is in. Alexander Gann, who will be representing Australia in under-24s. Oh, and Krondorf dropping that one. Looking to get it back down the force. New Zealand again. Buddy Biscuit to the end zone. Elliott Trotter in pursuit. Jumps too early. Well read by New Zealand player.
Yeah, Hamish Gibson there. Fantastic positioning. Just able to read it a little bit better than his defender. Giving an extra point for New Zealand, and it's now 7-6 to Australia.
Yeah, one of those virtual Ds there, as you see the New Zealand player laying out. Not actually getting in touch to it, but enough to put Cron off. And Elliott perhaps going up too early, but Hamish doing well to box him out. Part of that men's team that participated in London last year, finishing tied 9th in WGC after beating Ireland in their last game.
Totally not bitter, are you?
I wasn't on that team. I was playing mixed, so I'm a big fan of. And New Zealand are back in this game now. A chance to level it up. Oh, and another crazy pull. Looks like it's going to land roughly at the brick mark, or at the sideline. Not getting huge yardage, but plenty of time to set up. Australia with 3 men back. Looking to isolate Kylo downfield. It goes back to Zach Chodos, who has an infamous photo often shared by Australian Ultimate players. Kylo now, low backhand. Picked up by Ashcroft outside the end zone, who throws a nice flick into space. Acrobatic moves from Alexander Gann. A great point from him, and that's the goal for Australia.
Just towed in there. We've seen a few of these toe-ins before. Saw one in the Germany-Russia game this morning in the women's division. Some excellent play from the German athletes. And again, fantastic footwork. That is some stupendous athleticism.
Yeah, loving that scissors kick in the air, and just chucks back his tippy toes and gets his big toe down just before he drags that line. It looks like we have a yellow disc back again, to the delight of Mike Palmer. who's in charge of this video stream, or one of the men in charge, prefers that contrast so you can get a better view. And that yellowy disc rolling out of bounds. Hamish Gibson brings it to the front of his own end zone. Australia forcing backhand again. Looks like a zone this time. A bit of a 1-2-2. Just trying to slow down the New Zealand team. Not putting too much pressure, and that is a pitch length hammer that fades the wrong way. Not what you want to see.
That's that wind pushing every single throw towards this closest sideline to us and towards the camera where you're watching at home.
Good lateral play here from Australia. Chance to extend their lead. Sends one to the end zone in acres of space. Easy peasy. Thank you very much. Goal for number 12, Martin Forrest, better known as Linus, gets on the scoreboard.
Completely alone in the end zone. Quite surprising. Just collects a disc, holds it up to the sky, and gives it a cheeky little head spike for us to enjoy. I've had a lovely little message come in from one of the under-24s lads back at home for South Wales Storm, Ben Alba, enjoying this beautiful, beautiful game of ultimate here in France.
Would love to hear from any of the New Zealand and Australian players watching at home. New Zealand needs some help here. If any of the Dogma, Groot or Wildcat players can get behind them, give them a shout out of the stream. And nice pull from the Australians. I see White there, getting free but looked off. This must be getting high in the stall count. Eventually gets to the middle, nice dish pass. White's free deep. You know they're going to put it every time. 5-on-5. Oh, and a great spinning backwards catch. Didn't have to use his height there. All balance as he gets covered in sand in that spinning catch.
Once you get to a certain height, a certain element of tallness like Tom White, you lose an element of graciousness, which is displayed by his catch in the end zone there. The force of that throw just pummeling him into the sand.
Yeah, as graceful as a giraffe on rollerblades there, but most importantly caught the disc.
You can contact us on Twitter with the hashtag AskSutas, that's SUTAS. My Twitter handle is @_GG17, that's GEEGEE. You can ask us anything, or you can just heckle us. We enjoy some heckling.
Yes, we know the men from down under like a bit of banter, and that's what we're here for. This pull collected by Ashcroft. Centre to Nick. Again, Australia often opting for this three-man handler set, giving two players a lot of space downfield. In this case, Trotter with a swing to Gann. Oh, and a big lofty backhand going up. Trotter trying to keep position, and again finds himself misreading that one.
It jumped a little bit too early. Quite the misread, unfortunately, especially against some taller New Zealand defenders.
New Zealand need this point now. Now switching to force flick. Nice over the top from Hudson. Nick Panu now the disc. Oh, Ashcroft unable to get there. Good pressure though. Hurley Back to Panu, one of the captains, and it looks like he's just called a timeout. The man who's played several World Championships, I think 6 in total, one even for Denmark. And yeah, great game so far, 9-7. I know New Zealand have a bit of mustard left in them. This game is far from over.
Certainly some Dijon mustard would be preferable.
We go to a quick commercial break. And we're back at the World Championships at Beach Ultimate 2017 here in Royan, France. Australia up 9-7 against their close neighbours New Zealand in a grudge match in the men's open division. I am Liam Grant, joined by Georgina Morrison, here at the showcase field in what is a beautiful day on the west coast of France.
It's been an incredible game so far. New Zealand were down by 3 or 4 points initially after a quick trade, and now New Zealand have started to gain a bit more of their composure and use some of their long game a bit more wisely. And Australia still chugging along, doing their Aussie thing.
Some good chemistry in this New Zealand team. You see they know each other quite well, but the athleticism of the Australian team is at another level. But that's not all what Ultimate is about, particularly on the sand. It's about communication, understanding between the teammates, the chemistry. And New Zealand is showing some great chemistry as they look to build on this rapport.
We've got New Zealand on offense just coming out this timeout.
It was hard to score after coming in after a timeout, I find. Let's see what New Zealand can do. Hurley up the line. Oh, and unfortunate drop.
I think there's a foul call.
Maybe caught his footing and whatnot. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Definitely no contact on the arms, but uncontested from the spirited Gan. New Zealand with a chance here to get a goal they desperately need. Ends up putting one out to space. Oh, and some contact there as he makes the defensive play. Looked like he had a good position and got up early, Aidan Hurley.
You can hear from the sidelines a lot of
oh yes, that looks
yes
like
shouts.
a foul to me. It looked like he had his arm in between the defender's arm and the disc. Nick Doucette doing his best to shut that one down, but from the replay anyway, obviously up to the players themselves and what they saw, looked like a foul. Generally in Ultimate Frisbee, we don't want calls to go longer than 30 seconds. So if resolution cannot be reached within 30 seconds, this should go back really. But looks like it's going to be an uncontested foul. Good spear from the Aussies. Disc is touched in and walked to the front of the end zone, where New Zealand have a chance now to punch one in. They cram it in the cram hole. It's business time for New Zealand, getting back into this game.
Liam channeling as many of Flight of the Conchords songs and puns as he possibly can.
Yes, I feel like I'm in the music video for Fuda Fafa here, talking to Jacques Cousteau earlier and having a slice of camembert. Good goal from New Zealand, keeps them alive in this game. Big break between this point. Just about 5 minutes left on the clock. New Zealand 1 point down. Would love to level this up now. The pull from Hamish. Beautiful. Ashcroft signals for the disc. Gets it upfield to Schrader. McManus. Good pressure is dumped from New Zealand. Ashcroft looking to the end zone. Hits. Forrest, Linus on the swing. Delicious Lyo flick. Next one a little low to ground, but Schrader catches everything. Keeps momentum going, and a great goal from Australia. The Reef Sharks swimming in motion there.
Australia just working it down again very easily. Not too difficult. There was another point without any turnovers to bring the score back up to 10-8.
Beautifully timed cut from the back of the end zone there. Cut before his player had the disc, so he's free as soon as his teammate looked up. See Albie Evans on the sideline there chatting to his coach. Got a chat with him earlier as he was cheering on the Australian women's team. The platypi, plural for platypus. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. But great spirit always, the Australian team. Show a lot of support. Great for the odd chant as well. As you see that disc sailing over the seaside. And now in the hands of Albie Evans. Or should I say Nick Panu. Again, we see the zone from Australia and New Zealand doing what they did last time. Fire to the end zone. Oh, great goal. Evans can't do anything about it. It's a throw they wanted to bait. But the Sharks can't bite on that one.
Very difficult shots to the end zone. We've seen a lot of those forehands coming off. And just soaring onto the other side of the pitch, closer towards us. This throw executed so well. And again, towed in, nearly landing on top of the Aussie.
A lot of sand kicked up there as he tries to maintain his feet in bounds. Oh, well done. Especially with that pressure of a flying Albie Evans in his eyesight. Again, New Zealand with a chance to level it up. Nice to see a flick pull in the arsenal. Trotter back in the handling position now. Hits Connell. It looks like New Zealand coming up with a little bit of a zone or some poachy man defense. The Aussies playing around it thus far. Nice inside flick to Cron. Gets the continuation. Hits just outside the end zone. There's the opportunity to dish it in, and a goal for Connell. Brings it to 11-9. 2 points away from a win, Australia. A really high-scoring game this is. Both teams doing well not to turn over in their own points in the last three, I think. We haven't seen a turnover in a while.
That was too easy. Too easy for the Aussies just to work it through. New Zealand trying to come out with a little bit more of a poachy man defense. Poaching being just moving off of your mark a little bit more to occupy space rather than a person. But as we've seen from some other teams before, poaching doesn't necessarily work too well on beach. It's difficult to catch up to your person in time on this sand.
I've just heard from the timekeepers there that time is now over. So we'll be finish this point and add one to the highest score. New Zealand picked that one up. Good pressure from the Australians again. Initially shutting down that swing. New Zealand in the back of their own end zone. Not the place you want to be. Great pressure from New Zealand. Looks like he has to do a crossfield skewer, but that one dangerous, but executed perfectly. New Zealand switching the play. Able to get out of their own end zone. Tries the flick, but ends up in front of Kyle O, who holds his ground. Uncontested foul. Kyle, one of the captains on this team. A little backhand up the line, and this one unleashes the cannons, but too much gunpowder in that one. I'm not sure if that came back in the field, so the disc crossed the sideline and traveled out of bounds, landed out of bounds, never came in, so that means it'll be brought up to the sideline here. You can see maybe one Australian player raising his hand to signal where it's going to come in, just past halfway. Zach Chodos with the hat and sun cream on. Very important to protect yourself against the sun here. If you're outside all day, look after your skin, folks. Australia moving with conviction. And a dishy pass on the knees. Thank you, please. Number 7, Chodos with the great assist.
The disc is moving so quickly in between every single player of this Aussie team. They do so well in just using every single player. And you can see here, just every throw is executed so quickly. It's just pop after pop after pop. There's not much you can do to defend against that. You've got to be quite tight on your man.
Jonathan Warren White getting the goal there.
It's now a game to 13.
Rory Collins again with the pull. Match point to Australia. If they score, they will win this game. New Zealand need 4 goals on the hop. A difficult ask, but I wouldn't put it past them. Good pressure from this Aussie team. Not a lot of activity for New Zealand. Has to look for that up line. Nice big around feathery flick. Again a big stand, going for the crossfield pass again this time. Can he get there? Oh my word! Did he get that one? Oh no. Great effort from Daniel Aldridge.
And New Zealand did so well there. It's quite terrifying when you're in Callahan territory, stuck in your own end zone, and strong defenders like Australia.
If Australia keep possession, they will win this game. And Roy Collins striking deep, looked off the first time. Ashcroft now. Looks like Australia are going to try and play some small ball and run this New Zealand team into the ground. McManus again free deep. But Australia being a patient Pat. Connell now not so patient. Skies one out. Oh, and a great grab. And that is game for Australia. What a performance from this Aussie team. Looking very strong in this open division.
That was a fabulous game to watch. Zero players on this pitch have their heads down. They have to be so proud of this. Some absolutely incredible plays from both sides, but Australia barely faltering, very rarely making any sorts of mistakes, and so sure of themselves in what was an incredible battle of the Down Under teams.
And Ben Sutas with the winning goal there. Rory Connell adding a bit of spice to the end of this game. I see players shaking hands after what was a fabulous game of Ultimate. Again, happy faces all around, and why wouldn't they be? That's a fantastic event in Royan, as we go through some of the highlights of the game now.
Some wonderful bids there. Again, the Mac line. Some beautifully put long shots against this tough wind. Every single person on this pitch willing to put their body on the line.
That was that scissors kick toe. Great play from Gan. Earlier, great layout from Evans. The giraffe on rollerblades, doing what he does best. Evans there, unlucky to get a hand on that one. Yeah, just great performances all around. Won't be surprised if both these teams can make it into the top 8. And that was the winning goal from Sutas, the man who knows everything. Great performance from the Australian team. Continue momentum after their universe point win against Deutschland. The Australian flag flying high in the sky. Our next game coming up is Netherlands-Germany in the Women's Masters division. And the final score in the game here, 39 to Australia. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have so much more great Ultimate to come. I'm Liam Grant.
And I'm Gigi Morrison.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Join us and speak up.